Hi guys, I'm finally back again. I know, sorry it's been so long since I last done my update. I said I'd do a weekly. I really just haven't had the time. Life's been getting in the way. It really has. I've had so much to do with work and yeah, just getting myself back together. So yeah, I decided to do a little video this morning before I go out, as I'm away for the weekend. But yeah, the tank is it's just looking great. It really is. Everything's exploded size-wise. All the fish are really healthy. Yeah, I'm loving it at the moment. It's all looking absolutely fantastic. I've literally got some RO water being made up at the moment because I'm doing a water change tomorrow. I've got all my RO unit plumbed in underneath where my water softener is. It's got a pump running as well, so excuse the sound. But yeah, just doing 50 litres at the moment. Anyone that does mix up their own RO water, highly recommend getting one of these pumps. Not overly expensive, but that kicks it out so much quicker. I can do 50 litres of water in about half an hour, 40 minutes. So yeah, well worth getting. So yeah, back to the tank. Coral wise, as you can see, it's all getting really big. Really am seeing a lot of growth. I bought a few new things recently because I bought myself an anemone, which you can see behind my Royal Grammar there. It's a bubble tip. Sorry, you're going to have to excuse him. He literally will follow me around everywhere and he's always trying to get in front of the camera. So yeah, the bubble tip anemone, it's honestly just stayed there. It's out of the light, so it's lost a lot of colour, but it seems to be happy there. It's now been there for at least 6-7 weeks in that same spot, just doesn't move. My clowns are not interested in the slightest. They still live on the back wall. They will not go anywhere near it. You can see there some snail eggs have been laid. I had the Barry White music on last night. They obviously got a little bit frisky. But yeah, so the clowns just aren't interested, which I'm a bit gutted about, to be honest. I really thought that they would be, but there's still time. They might jump inside it one day. This plate frag here, it was absolutely tiny when I first planted it, and honestly the size of it has just exploded. It really has. So yeah, seeing a hell of a lot of growth there. Also with my pink hystrix at the back there, that literally had a few branches coming off of it, and now there's growth everywhere all over it. It was exactly the same size frag as the lime berry hystrix here as well. That was tiny when I got it, and it's just, yeah, it's incredible how much it's all grown. So I think I started my tank off beginning of November, so yeah, it's well under a year still. But yeah, I'm just so pleased with everything. I bought a plate frag there, which you can see like the top sort of heart section of it. That was the original frag. You can see how much that it started to grow around all the rock area. It really is branching off well. That stylo there looking really good. If I get the names wrong, you'll have to excuse me, because I'm getting my head around all my parameters, etc., and they've been really good, but I still can't get my head around all the names of the coral. So I bought a couple of torches, one there and one at the bottom there as well. Oh, the lighting's going a bit funny. Yeah, the torches are looking absolutely massive. They really are. They really do puff up during the day. They've been stinging quite a few of my coral, so I've had to move things around, as was my Hollywood Stunner. That just doesn't stop growing. I keep having to break parts off of that, and I said I'm going to send some to one of my mates as well, which I intend to do. But yeah, I just have to keep breaking that because that grows like absolutely mad, and the stingers that come off of it are huge. Some of them are literally the width of that plate. That's how long the stingers are that come off of it, so it does sting quite a lot of things around it. My Yumas, they've gone absolutely crazy. Recordia, they're literally covering the rock now. As over the other side you can see here as well. Just absolutely mental. It really is. There's just, some of them are huge as well now. So they're looking really good. I haven't really seen much growth out of my chalice. That seems to be the same size still. Candy cane. Yeah, you can see the difference in that as well. The mushrooms, I've not had any more split yet, but they're still looking really big, which is nice to see. Bought a lovely a lovely frag there. I don't actually know the name of it, I can't remember it, but that is absolutely stunning, and that's now started to grow towards the bottom as well. It's going to start branching off a little bit soon, hopefully, as well. So yeah, the Montipora digitalis, that's grown absolutely loads. Underneath the tops of the fingers you can see where the original was. So yeah, they've really grown well. And this green stylo, if you look back on my first video, it was absolutely tiny. And that's really branched off. It's really, really bushy now. I've got a purple plate up here as well, which I'll try and show you. I can't really see it very well. But yeah, that plate's now starting to grow really well. There's a side-on view. I bought a frag up here. I can't remember the name of it now. I was hoping that might start spreading out onto the back wall. Hasn't started as yet. It's still alive, but yeah, it hasn't really started to grow much at all, whereas all the rest of the coral are really growing well. I'm not too sure why it hasn't, but maybe it'll start exploding out soon. My zoas, this rock here is now looking really good. This one was, if you look back on the videos, that was really, really covered in zoas, absolutely covered in these pink ones, but completely over the course of 2 days they were just literally wiped out. I still don't know the reason. Now, there were a lot of nudies inside that one, inside the green one, and I was dipping, and I've been dipping literally since I bought the tank, to be honest. I've had non-stop problems with nudies, but touch wood, I haven't seen a single one on this segment yet in the last, what, month and a half now. So I'm hoping that I have eradicated the problem. But yeah, something completely wiped out that rock. I've kept it. I've got a feather duster sitting on there at the moment. I've kept it as it is, but yeah, it just completely wiped it out. Let me turn my... so yeah, with my anemone, I also bought a couple of MP40 guards, anemone guard covers. So these were made by a guy on the Red Sea Facebook group. His name's Paul Burns. Look him up on Facebook. They're really cool. They fit really snugly around the MP40s. He also does them for MP10s as well. He 3D prints them himself. So I highly recommend that. Really good guy. And yeah, if you wanted custom stuff made, I'm sure he could do that as well for you. But yeah, really good service, and they're pucker. They really are. I did have the foam on them at first, but I had to keep rinsing the foam out every single day, because if I didn't, then I started getting all sorts of parameter problems, and yeah, the water just got, the foam just got really, really dirty really quickly. So my sand's nice and clean now. I was having major problems with my sand when I first started the tank out. Diatoms it could have been, I'm not really sure what it was, but yeah, the sand's nice and clean now. My parameters have been nice and stable recently, for quite some time now, which I'm really pleased about. So that's got to be helping the growth in the tank. One thing I bought recently from Little Ocean products was a new gourmet defroster. This is really cool. My original one was from Innovative Marine, an IM gourmet defroster. It's absolutely useless. It really was. The magnet just completely exploded on it, rusting, and yeah, I was putting it in the water and I realised that bits of metal were coming off it, so obviously I took it straight out and I've never used it since. But yeah, this one, really recommend them. Little Ocean, you can find them on Facebook as well. Really pleased with that product. So I'll show you, just check my RO water. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in a minute so I can change that over. Down in my sump, everything's doing well. I've got on my last video, I think I put the 2 dishes of miracle mud in. Again, the growth that I have, it might be something to do with the miracle mud. I can't say for definite, but it's definitely not done any harm to my tank. I've had an explosion of these white snails. I'm sure they're snails. I don't really know too much about them, to be honest, but yeah, there's just absolutely tons of them in there. But everything seems to be thriving, so I must be doing something right. skimmer doing its job really well. When we had the hot spell this year, I had to put a fan inside here, and that was pretty much running the whole time because I really was getting some temperature spikes, so I just couldn't keep it under control. It was a severely hot weather that we had. But yeah, that fan, it's now on the apex and it switches on and off automatically. It does the job well. I've now got pump 1 and 2 running on my doser, so I'm dosing alkalinity in one of them and calcium in the other. Alkalinity, Christ, I'm going through about 65 ml a day on that, so I'm really using that quite quickly. But the calcium, I think I'm on 8 ml a day of calcium, so not much at all. And then magnesium, I rarely dose that. I've only dosed it 2 or 3 times since starting the tank up. I've not had to do that. Whether there's an issue that I should be doing it, or I don't know. But yeah, the parameters have been absolutely fine. These are my parameters. So I did have a problem with ammonia a few months back on the last data sheets that I did. But yeah, I bought some bio rocks and put those in a sock, and ever since I've obviously got a good population of bacteria in there, because yeah, I've not had an issue with that now, touch wood. Phosphates have always been pretty stable over this course. Nitrates as well. It's hard getting the balance between the phosphates and the nitrates correct. But yeah, it seems to be okay. I'm doing about 5 mil of Nopox a day currently. Just keep fluctuating the Nopox basically to try and keep them to as stable as possible. Nitrite, I seem to always get a little bit of nitrite. People say that it's bad, some people say that it's not bad. I've read up on it, and apparently it's not as bad for saltwater fish. But yeah, I can't seem to completely get rid of the nitrites. I do now and again put a little bit of the prime in to eradicate some of the nitrite levels. Every time I do a water change, I pop some of this in as well. Just a couple of drops. BioS, it's just beneficial startup bacteria basically. I just put a couple of drops in every time I do a water change, just to make sure that my beneficial bacteria levels are kept up to scratch. I'm now doing quite a lot of the coral colours from Red Sea. I'm doing them every other day really. I'm doing about 2 mil every other day now. So yeah, the colours of all the corals I'm doing is looking really good. pH, salinity, it's always been pretty stable. I was having a little bit of problems when we had the high temperatures, but yeah, I've got it all under control. Alkalinity, it's a lot lower than it used to be, a hell of a lot lower than it used to be, but it's still pretty stable over the weeks. I'm now only doing a water change every other week, whereas I was doing it every single week. So yeah, I'm still getting pretty good readings on the parameters. Calcium, I've been trying to dial in my doser to try and get those as accurate as I can. There's still quite a lot of fluctuation. I think it's where I've got quite a few frags in there. Some of them are really taking up quite a lot. So yeah, I'm still trying to get that stable. And then magnesium, Christ, you can see the levels. Honestly, I don't dose magnesium. They only seem to go up. As soon as I do a water change, they go right up. But why they are reading so high, I have no idea. And my test kits are the Red Sea Pro ones, so they should be a relatively accurate test kit, but I don't know how reliable they are, to be honest. But yeah, so like I say, all going really well. I'm pleased with everything. I am actually going to remove my yellow tang out of the tank. I got caught him in a box the other day in a fish trap. Literally within half an hour of putting the Perspex fish trap in, he swam straight into it, and I could have took him out then, but I didn't. I put him in into a little small box net in the corner up here, just to keep him out of the way, a little bit of isolation for him, because he was just non-stop for a good week chasing my purple tang. I mean, he's still doing it now. He literally won't leave him alone, and for a few days he was ripping shreds out of the purple tang's tail. His dorsal fin was barely existent, to be honest. He really was getting a punishing. So I think the yellow tang is going to have to go. I know a lot of guys are against having them in here. It's too small a tank, blah blah blah. They're all happy, they really are. I mean, lipstick. He absolutely loves food. As soon as I put my finger in the tank, he's straight up, look, pecking me straight away. He's constantly wanting food. But I don't overfeed them. He's not really grown much since putting him in. The purple tang's grown quite a lot. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get rid of the yellow, and I'll end up getting a banana wrasse, I think, because I did have a problem with planaria flatworms. So I'll bring some yellow into the tank by getting a banana wrasse, and that should hopefully keep the population down of my flatworms. I used flatworm exit and it did seem to clear up the problem for a while, but I have noticed lately one or two back on the glass again. So yeah, I think that sums it up for today. I won't go on for any longer. I will do my best to try and get another update within the next week or two. And yeah, I'll go into a little bit more detail on a few different aspects of the tank. But thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.